What was it about One Piece that initially drew you to the project?
Well, I heard, this is going back a ways, but I had a friend who was, he was one of the producers, writers of the show, Matt Owens, and I worked with him on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so I had a long history with him, and we always got along really well. Whenever I had one of his episodes that he wrote, I thought, it's going to be great. And I heard, this is around the time, right before the pandemic began, I heard he was doing a show called One Piece. I wasn't super familiar with the content. I was a comic book kid growing up. Batman, Superman, and things of that nature. And somehow One Piece got by me. And I heard about the show, I looked into it, and I went, that's a big swing. That's really, I'm not sure about this one. But it kept gnawing at me. I was interested in it. So I started looking into it, I started reading about it, and I went, wow, this is really cool. And he and I started talking, and he says, yeah, I want to get you on the show, and I'd love to do that. And then the pandemic happened, and it was quiet for a little bit. I thought it went away, and then a few years later, I get a call, hey, we'd like to bring you onto the show. Oh, great. And when you start reading the scripts and what they were intending to do, you're like, I mean, they're really going for it. And they're going for it in a big way. And this can go in either direction. And obviously season 1 was received really, really well. Huge viewership. And season 2 only got bigger.
All right, so we have a lot of editing students that watch. What one scene are you most proud of? Maybe the one that was most difficult to pull off. Could be a smaller, intimate scene that you were like, wow, we pulled this off.
Well, there's a few scenes. I always talk about Reverse Mountain. That one was just fun in general because of the collaboration, figuring out the shots, discussing with the previs editors, discussing with the visual effects department, music, sound, and keeping the stakes high. But the one that I don't talk about too often, but I think was a lot of fun and an interesting experience was in episode 5, Wax On, Wax Off. We have a sequence at the end where some of our straw hats are encased in wax on the candelabra, which is this big giant cake structure that's spewing out wax, and it's slowly encasing them. And Luffy and Usopp are trying to rush to their aid. And then we have this big fight sequence that happens with the Straw Hats trying to defeat Baroque Works. And we had, the way it was scripted and shot was this fight, then this fight, then this fight. And it was all good, and everything was working. But it became a little like, okay, for some reason the stakes aren't really here right now. I'm feeling a little, the pace is slowing down. So somebody said, is there a way to intercut these fight sequences? Is there a way to make this, take each aspect of this fight and keep building on top of each other? Keep raising the stakes, keep raising the pace, keep raising the tension. And again, I have no musical background at all. I couldn't tell you anything about music. But the way we were looking at it was, rhythm, like the rhythm of music, the rhythm of the song. And we would figure out transitions to get us in and out of these fights, so that if we left the fight with maybe Zoro and Mr. Five, we wanted to feel like, well, maybe Zoro was in trouble, and it's a cliffhanger. And then when we come back, well, okay, now I got to play catch up, and it keeps the audience engaged, and ultimately we keep building, and I'm going to use the only musical term I know, the crescendo, and once they defeat it, okay, we can release the tension now, and it was just a lot of fun to put that sequence together, and again, it was when somebody says, well, the secret, often an early cut, the secret really isn't working, I'm not quite sure why. As an editor, that's when I get excited, because you start to figure out interesting, creative ways to solve these problems, and it's always done through editing.